All right. Hello, YouTube. Hello, chat. Hello. So, today is the 15th weekly roundup. I'm very glad I get to do these. I know I always say it, but I'm very glad I get to do these. There are 15 of them. Heck yes. Hopefully I can reach 20 before I take my hiatus. So, today I do have some things I want to talk about. Finally, I want to talk about did you, I want to talk about something that Sony had brought up, like, say, a couple days ago. It's kind of old news already. I know there's probably a bunch of other internet people that probably brought it up and could probably come up with a more educated outlook on it. So I'm gonna try and look at it through the lens of a consumer, which is what affects us. Hey, Mimi, welcome to the stream. Ah, dang. We gotta move that. There. And then I'm going to explain something that I didn't really get through because of audio issues, but I want to explain the Leomon died meme. It's going to be funny, I guarantee it. And then I want to talk about personal projects and stuff. No channel updates. It's mainly the same way. I still do intend to take the hiatus after Digimon Storytime Stranger. And I still do intend keeping the channel about the same way. So really no changes there. So, let me see if I could find the buttons, because now I have buttons for everything. Got a button for this, a button for that. Everything's a button. Button. Alright, so Sony recently had brought up this. Physical disc production ending in January 2028 for new games releasing on PlayStation consoles. So, I want to point out a couple of things already. I'm going to read to everyone like the whole thing. It's not long, but I'll read it to you. But my initial thoughts were back when like the PS3 was first came around, there was already like this fear of an all digital future when it came up to video games. And it just now we're coming to like this, I don't know, can I call it a bad end for it? So not that it was unexpected, but it's just now that it's happening, it's creating hubbub. So another thing I want to point out is going all digital sucks. Going all digital really sucks. And I'll get into like more of like the market kind of thing later, at least from the point of view that I have. But personally, collecting games is awesome. Hard. I'm going to talk about it later. But collecting games is awesome. And especially like having the ownership of everything. Not like trademark, not copyright or anything like that, but just having the game. But I'll get into that in a minute. So I'm going to read what this thing says, and then we'll talk more about it. I actually have some examples I want to show off too. Let me see if I can get like a good point here. Okay, so in response to shifting trends in consumer preference, big words there. Hang on, I gotta get my mouse. Yeah, it says capture cursor. What the hell, man? Whatever. Oh, here it is. I want to highlight this part really quick. Consumer preference. To whom? Is it really preference, or are you forcing people into a specific decision? Anyways, in response to shifting trends and consumer preference, new games will be released on PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital format only. This is by the senior director. As consumer preferences and the broader entertainment industry continue to shift away from physical discs to digital, physical game disc production for I agree. For all new games releasing on PlayStation consoles will be discontinued starting January 2028. Following this date, new games will be available on PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. This transition has no impact on games that already released or will be releasing prior to 2028 in disc format. Oh, you can't read that part, I'm sorry. There. This is a natural direction for Sony Interactive Entertainment to adapt to consumer trends, as the general preference for digital media significantly outpaces physical discs. This transition will enable us to align more closely with how most of our community prefers to access and play games today. We'll continue to prioritize our resources to drive innovation in how players can access games and provide choices as to where players prefer to purchase new games, whether it's at retailers or PlayStation Store. We remain committed to delivering a world-class gaming experience to our fans, and we thank you for your continued support. Okay, so now that you read that, I imagine a lot of us is probably like blood's already boiling, and I'm not gonna make it any better. So of course, everyone is welcome to share, to chime in, even today or in the future. So again, as I said earlier, digital sucks. And my comment about the consumer preference and the broader entertainment industry, I feel these are two complete different things. These are two completely different things. Like, it's kind of difficult to be able to just argue the idea that people actually prefer digital because it's not, I think, especially now with what they're doing here, that they give you very little choice in the matter, or that is just the easiest way to do things. And humans, and I'm going to sound kind of cynical, but humans are a creature that prefer a more efficient route of doing things. That in this case, it's going to be digital. But again, just sort of like bottlenecking the market to just only digital, then you'll have no choice. And I think that sucks. And these two things are completely different. They're completely different. Because as I said before, consumer preference doesn't exactly mean that's what you would prefer. If you ask me, I would like a lot of my games to be physical. I have a lot of physical games. A lot from multiple generations. I'm not really like a big collector. A lot of the games I have were accrued throughout the years, but I know that there's an amount of collectors and preservationists and websites in that case. Of course, we have GOG, who is like Steam, but instead of you renting the game with a one-time purchase, you buy the game and you get a DRM free download. So there's a big difference there. When we're speaking strictly digital, and I'm just using Steam as like an example. So the problem with getting games on Steam is, as I said before, you're kind of doing a one-time purchase rent. And it's inextricably tied to Steam. If you have a Steam game now, I implore you, go turn off your net. Turn it off and try and play your game. You can't. I guarantee you. And this forms an issue. So, With PlayStation going in this direction, there's very little telling on whether or not if they'll go in this direction. So, if they do go digital only, do you own your game or are you like borrowing it? I don't have a PS5. We're gonna get into that in a second. And I don't want one, to be honest. It doesn't look worth it to me. None of the games there are any good. I don't care. So, and you see what I'm saying, what the difference is? That there's a big difference with that. So if Sony in the future, say PS6, which is like, how much is it gonna be? $1,200? You may as well just get yourself a PC. This sounds like they're shooting themselves in the foot to me. Anyway, hang on, I'm losing train of thought. Okay. So the issue, no, I'm already talking about the issue. I don't know what I'm doing. Stimming is what I'm doing. So how much power is Sony going to have over, say, if you can play your games or not? So let's put a scenario. You spend $1,200 on a PS6. Not that it's a real thing, by the way. It's probably going to be a future thing, so knowing Sony. So you spent $1,200 on a theoretical PlayStation 6. You've bought, say, a couple games. Let's just say you have money coming out of the ass, right? Let's say you have money coming out of the ass and you bought all these digital only games for around the price of, say, 80-ish dollars. Hang on. I actually had. So, you did this. Let me get rid of that. You did this, right? You bought yourself the latest game because you thought it was neat. A YouTuber got you into it. Maybe you read some reviews. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Not the point. So you got yourself one of these. Maybe you got yourself a couple of these. Okay, maybe one of them is a multiplayer game. Not this one, obviously. You can see it right here. So say you got yourself a multiplayer game. Now you can play with the boys, right? All right, so now you have to do a subscription plan. As you see, this is the premium. As you see, this is the premium plan. And we're just going to go down the list. 1 month, $20. Every month, $20. Every month, $54.99. Every month, $159.99. We go into, you want to go a little cheaper than that? Okay. Extra. That's not telling what you get. Hang on, I should probably highlight that. You get Classics Catalog, because you need that because they don't allow, Sony has not allowed you to have anything backwards compatible. And if it's digital only, that's strictly impossible. So they have your little catalogs. Classic Catalog. Game trials, timed demos basically, and cloud streaming. I don't know what that is. I do not care. And a lot of this other stuff, right? So that's premium. So now we're going to move down to extra. Okay, very similar. And you start to see the trend where I'm going. Every month, $16.99. Every 3 months, $43.99. Every 12 months, $134.99. You get this stuff. Essential. Essential being like the bottom plan, right? This is probably the one I imagine most people do. It's what I did. You get this stuff. Online multiplayer. That's not even lined out in the extra or premium, right? That's just basic. You get basically, now you can play an online multiplayer game. Whereas if you were to do that like on PS3, you could just do that. You get yourself a PC game, you can just do that. PlayStation, Nintendo, Microsoft all have this sort of like Kimura lock on you. There has to be like this baseline thing you have to chill out. So you can at least do that. Never mind having like that sort of nostalgic feeling of having your friends all come over so you can all play Smash Brothers. Let's not get into that. That's not what this is about. So you have that. You got yourself one of these, like I said, a multiplayer game. And I'm not the greatest fox at math, but that seems like a lot to do. And if we go look at the PS5, so 2 TB, we got you one of these. We got the 825 GB. See, this is the digital edition right here. Digital edition. Hang on, let's just go find. Yeah, here's a slim for you. Now, notably, consoles have always been kind of expensive for like the time that they come out. The problem being here with this is that people are starting to see a rise in the price of their digital titles. Like I know I just showed off what the latest game that came out recently, which is 007 Hard Light or some shit like that. Hang on, I gotta double check. First Light. It's $69.99. Now, this is not like what I've seen. I've seen games running up to like 80, and it's just the baseline game. It's not a collector's edition. It's not a limited thing. It's not something that you had to pre-order and you're waiting for in the mail. That's literally, you logged into PlayStation, you went in the store, and there it is. That's your baseline decision. And this is kind of like the argument of a lot of people who are against this sort of like this thing. And of course, there's always the issue with if you own the game or if you're currently borrowing it. So you did all this, right? You did all this. You got yourself your games. You did the plan. You got yourself a system. Your net goes off. Now what? Steam users probably know what the hell I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. I'm a Steam user. Let me tell you what happens. Nothing works. Nothing works. You can't turn your games on. You can't play by yourself. You can't play with your friends because probably your friends, if you have any, they're probably like, I don't know, countries away. You're probably playing with like a Russian dude or something like that. I don't know. I don't know you. I'm just saying. It's completely possible in the modern day. So now you can't play your games. So then you do, right? You're now able to go back playing your games with your friends. You save up, dough to get some new games. So then, let's say, what's the average lifespan of like a PlayStation console? 5, 6 years? 4 to 6? I think that's safe to say. 4 to 6? 4 to 6 years. So now they just straight up decide, hey, we're making PlayStation 7. We're shutting down the use of the PlayStation Store of the PS6. Well, that sucks. You wanna know why? Because the PlayStation Store shuts down for your console. You can't play your games no more. And that's the main argument I've been seeing because I try to be a bit educated with this. I try to be. So, of course, I'm always up for like discussion about the thing. And this is what I'm saying. It's already been done. To be honest with you, it's already been done. They have like this here for the PlayStation Store for the PS3 and PS Vita. I'm going to click it. Okay, so you see here, this is what I was talking about. Allow me to read this to you. After nearly 2 decades of supporting the PlayStation 3 console generation, we wanted to let you know we will be closing the PlayStation Store on the 3 as well as the Vita. PlayStation Store on the PS3 will close in select markets starting this year, so we're already starting. It's PS3, so granted, The majority of players probably aren't playing the PlayStation 3 anymore. I still have one, but it's not my point. The PlayStation 3 is safe because it still has physical media. So, if you physically own the game, you can still play it. So, as you see, we're already starting. I don't even have to read the whole thing. You know what's going on. Of course, everyone is free of, like, their own decisions and stuff. I'm sure, like, someone who, like, isn't afraid of losing connection probably does not care. I'm sure that, and I'm just going to call out a good majority on this platform and some other platforms, a lot of YouTubers probably do not give a damn. A lot probably don't give a damn. They probably already have like the PS5. They probably already have like PCs straight up from NASA. They probably already do. They don't care. It's everyone else, the majority of the planet, that should be concerned. Yeah, yeah, I see you. Yeah, that's exactly how it is. Now, no, as I said before, it's already been like something I think everyone has been looking at, but now that it's actually happening, I'm starting to see like posts and stuff of like people like us who enjoy retro games, who enjoy collecting the physical things, who actually have the consoles, you know? Like you got yourself a PlayStation 1, you got yourself a GameCube, you got yourself, I don't know, a freaking you got yourself an Atari 2600. This doesn't matter to you. That doesn't matter to you right now. I'm talking about like as you see on this report, PS3 up, and not just PlayStation consoles. It's been a discussion for all of the major game development places. Now, and the thing is that collecting is hard. It's hard. Not only do you have like scalpers on like websites like eBay, where like if you would have gone to like a GameStop or something like that, and you would have gotten like say I don't know, close to $30 for a game. Of course, returning it is always a mistake. You're always going to get a whole lot less than the asking price. But you have the thing. You can actually go and do that. Now you can't do that no more. Oh yeah, I was up with the scalpers. Damn, my brain just jumped. I'm sorry. Anyway, so yeah, collecting's hard. Scalpers on eBay. You got yourself a game. You're gonna go get yourself a game for like a previous console. It could be a PS4 game. You know, PS4 is old now, and we have to face that. That game is easily. I don't have an example here because I don't have any tabs, but I'm sure everyone watching could probably just do their own research on that end. I'm interested in collecting like former generation things, and I gotta tell you, some games are bad. Which is weird because you remember them as being generally bad games or games that no one has ever known. Like, I think a good example is probably in my case, right? My case. If you were to talk about, say, Kuon on the PS2, that's a lot of money. If you want to have yourself a mini heart attack, go look. And this is literally like a straight attack on game preservation, which is important. Game preservation is important. It's not just because they're video games. It is important. You like some people would probably feel the same way if this was a thing about movie. Oh wait, you know what? We do. We have subscription. We have Netflix. So I can't even say that. And there's also the idea of like AI making everything. So now you don't even know if what you're watching was even made by human hands. You could be watching something made by a computer, not on a computer. And I see the argument that some people are trying to make. That's not what we're talking about. But anyways, that's a discussion for maybe another day. And I guess to end this a little is that Nintendo is probably the last in the line. And if we've been paying attention to like gaming news generally, and I'm pretty sure I talked about a Nintendo like a few weekly roundups ago, and I showed like, yeah, they're pretty bad, like they never go down. This is bad. Because look, it's a competition. These are companies and they're going to compete. Nintendo being the last to make physical cartridges is just that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything for like the future. We got the Switch 2. The Switch 2 has physical stuff. Yes, that's awesome. For now. So the idea would be what would be their move if they were to continue doing that? You're still kind of bottlenecking the market. Because so say they're the last company, like, because they already have exclusives, right? There's only like world famous games that you can only play on a Nintendo console. So say you got like The Legend of Zelda, Link Took a Shit, right? So you need like the Switch 3 or whatever innovative gaming platform that they have. And you can get a digital for say modern asking price, right? We're gonna go $69.99, $79.99. So, what about the physical? You're like me. You want the little cartridge. You remember the Game Boy days. Well, cartridge is $99. Why? Because they're the only ones making it. No one's looking at this. I'm sorry if I'm pausing a lot. I'm just trying to collect things in my head before I say it. Yeah. So basically, that's kind of my thing. Of course, always open for the discussion of it. You know, either here or in the future. Someone just wish-washy watches this crazy gray fox on YouTube and is like, hey, he has a good point. What I see? I see emulation going through the roof. That's what I see. It's a lot of gamers they emulate anyways. The problem with emulation is that the thing it's kind of dumb to say, but the thing has to exist first for a while. So I see that happening a lot. I see like a lot of that. And yes, you can't emulate a Switch. It is Nintendo doesn't like it, but you totally can. So I guess that's just about wraps up how I see it. Hang on, I got a lot of buttons to push, so be patient with me. So, there's that. Another thing I want to bring up is that the other day I was playing Digimon Time Stranger and I was trying to talk about the meme of Leomon dying. And I also have to be aware that on YouTube, I have to assume everyone is new to everything. So, I thought I'd take a moment to explain it a bit. Actually, I have that video somewhere. Well, you probably couldn't hear a damn thing because the game was so egregiously loud. Oh, wait, I gotta remove that. Where is it? Oh, crap, wait. Okay, here we go, here we go. And I just gotta find him really quick. I know he's in here. Ha, this guy. Okay, so it doesn't matter what kind of Leomon it is. It's a Leomon. It's going to die. It's a Digimon tradition that's gone all the way back to Adventure. Now, I know some pinhead is going to be like, oh, that it doesn't die all the time. Hey, Spade, welcome to the stream. But it happens a lot. It happens a lot. And it happens in this game too. Because, like, earlier, I made a joke, like, somewhere around this point, where you first learn that Grap Leomon is, like, the champion, or something like that. I'm like, oh no, it's a Leomon. He's going to die. And this game, it does it. Hang on, I gotta find... Here, yeah, these guys.
What's going on here?
Yeah, these two.
That was crazy.
So these two were just talking, and they're like, oh man, Grap Leomon went down there. He got fucking folded.
Lots of spectators have been hurt, or worse.
It's okay, you can say they died. I saw Dragon Ball Z.
He got in the undisputed champion's head. He was some newbie from somewhere. I think his name was Grap Leomon.
Grap Leomon fought Callismon?
I'm not sure I'd call it fighting. They were just talking for the longest time. And then Callismon went berserk, holding his head like it was in pain. I don't know what was said, but that's what happened.
Is Grap Leomon okay?
I don't think so. Grap Leomon got tossed around like an old rag.
No way.
There you go. So, yeah, he doesn't die on screen, but he dies. And then, of course, you know, our resident general anime pro tag gets angry, his stand activates, and then we reverse time. I'll get to this later. This was actually supposed to be saved for, like, later, so I'll just move on. And, like I said, this has been a thing. I went around the net, and I found... Where was it? It was here. So someone actually made a wiki. Now, I think these are all the shows. Like I said, I haven't been around since Tamers. But I am well aware of the Leomon dying thing. And here is all the times that Leomon has died in an animated series. There's a bunch of games too, and I'm sure he dies there as well. Now, I was trying to do like a bit of research on this. And I get it, but it's also kind of mean. It's like when the developers have sort of like an in-joke. This is kind of it too. Now, granted, like I said, I know, he doesn't die all the time, but he dies most of the time. He's the Sean Penn of Digimon. If he's on there, guarantee, they're gonna knock him off. So yeah, some person actually made a list. Now, these are not all strictly Leomon, but they're of the Leomon line. And, you know, they still die. It counts. Like, I was here, and I remember this. Impaled by Beelzemon with his fist. Returns in spirit form twice. I remember that. It was actually really sad. It was sad when it happened in Adventure 2. And then it keeps happening. There's the next series, the series after that. This one, this one, this one, this one. Yep. So there, just a short explanation of my joke from yesterday. Leomon dies a lot, granted. Most of the time. Like, at least I would say 90% of the time, if the Leomon is present, he's going to die. It's just fated, I don't know. Hang on, I gotta keep clicking on stuff. Okay, so now that we're done with that, clicking buttons, clicking buttons. Okay, so now that we're done with that, I can move on to the third thing I want to talk about. And really, I guess it's just me more like announcing stuff rather than, of course, I'm always welcome to discuss anything. For the last few times you've seen the thing on the upper left there, yeah. So I did want to wait until like today to actually like announce my book's like re-emergence. But I guess I was just too eager, and so I just kind of like just started posting everywhere. So, so I guess that's just like the official word. My book, The Eye of Destiny, has been re-released into the internet wilds. And grab yourself a copy. If you're tired of your generic power fantasies, if you're tired of isekai protagonists with a personality of a cardboard cutout, are you tired of like your standard chosen one sort of stuff? Do you want to see a pro wrestling anteater? My book is for you. If you liked satirical, comedic fantasy stories, like say, if I'm not drawing comparisons, but if you're like into Discworld, you'd like this. It's much shorter, not a game, and it's available just about everywhere except for Amazon. But you can get it on, uh, hang on, Rakuten Kubo. You get it on Google Play. You can get it on Barnes & Noble. You can get it at bookshop.org. It's available in most English-speaking countries. Most English-speaking countries, as there's only one translation for the book. And it is an ebook. Again, Red's going digital only. Put my furry foot in my mouth. I'll work on a physical, I promise. I promise I'll work on a physical. And get yours before I finish the sequel. And before I finish some of my other projects that I'm working on. Click this, click this. Okay. So I kind of like just sped along like a long amount of this, but we're going to go into the actual part of the weekly roundup where I look back in the past streams of the week, I talk about them, and maybe I share some background stuff. All week we have been playing Digimon. Most of the week we've been playing Digimon, and I'll just talk about that. And we will just start on Tuesday. They should have voiced everyone. So Tuesday's playthrough was interesting. People who want to voice the Digimon. I want to voice the Digimon. It was the beginning of the current game's cycle of where we go to a place we have already visited, which is a normal game occurrence, backtracking and all that. This area is amazing. We find an issue that has happened. We travel back in time to fix that issue, and we move on to the next world. I feel like the game should have started on this premise, but I also don't like the controlled nature of it. Early in the game, there was a thing where time disturbances were chaotic, random, and our character just happens to be a part of it. But in this case, it seems more like it's being like it's a controlled tool that's being used to lead us into very isolated instances that we fix for a predetermined outcome.
We came to deliver this present as a token of peace.
Let me just turn this off. There. You start to see it here. And I would like to say, this Digimon, Venusmon, she's full of shit. Absolutely just full of it. Because look, sad, silent, well, if you can tell, because the freaking has a fainting spell. You want to know why? You want to know why? Because she straight up poisoned the drink that we hand this dude and just used us as the lever to do it. So I want you to note. I want you to actually see again. Dramatic. So, what doesn't make sense is that much later, where is she? Give me a minute. I am very bad at manipulating this thing. I kind of wish I can just move ahead in like a certain seconds. Yeah, she asked about the wine. So, timeline wise, this was just after we handed it over to Neptunemon. We tell her what happens.
This area will be destroyed, you say? And there is poison in the wine?
Why
Am
are
I
you
supposed to
surprised?
believe all of this?
It's hard to believe, isn't it? Even I'm having a tough time.
Are
well,
you serious?
It's not as if I think you're lying. However, there is one thing you got absolutely correct.
You hearing what I'm hearing?
In the wine.
What?
To be precise, it's a sedative. And I am the only one who holds the antidote.
Okay. So, that's a problem. I'm having a Phoenix Wright moment, and this is kind of the issue I've been having with this game for a while now. Is that the writing likes to beat itself. Like in this instance. And then there's this whole plot, right, where this little Digimon used some kind of like they poisoned the wine. Now, if I have to reiterate my point. Dramatic fall over.
What have I done?
What? What? This is the issue I'm having with this game. And then Neptunemon dies. So, and they don't explain that. I'm just supposed to just take that. Like, the story thinks I'm stupid. No, not me. The player. And it could be anyone. It thinks you're stupid. I feel like I'm going through like some sort of like game review kind of rant. Like something that would be out like in 2008 and they like silly cutouts or something like that. The boss fights, I feel like, again, still talking about the same day. The boss fights, I feel like, are getting easier. Maybe it isn't, maybe it is. It could be just a case that my Digimon are just stronger, so I can handle it more. But at the same time, like when we were at like the halfway point, bosses took forever. Granted, they still kind of take a long time because just fighting this one took a while. Yeah, right here, 5607. When did the fight start? 4102. Yeah, about close to 20 minutes, maybe a little over. Everything seems to be missing. Too bad they're not hard. I have a strategy that's just pure survival. Also, these shadow puppet things is stupid as fuck. This game has like this weird trope that I see a lot, but it's like it's very, very obvious here. It likes to tell you what you already know. It's kind of annoying. Like, you already, it doesn't give you any more information. The only time it gave me anything useful was the next day. Like when we discovered that, you know, the forest is all messed up, anti-Ferngully stuff. And then the shadow puppets is like early in the beginning. It's like, oh yeah, something happened. They invaded, everyone left, they took advantage, gassed everyone. Because, you know, the Geneva Convention does not exist in the digital world.
Titan attempts to claim the
But then it started to repeat things. Then it started to repeat things to you,
great strength.
which I found really annoying.
Celebrated with lots of
What makes it worse is that you go through this whole thing now.
triumphant tones.
It's about like an hour's worth of time. I go through like this,
The Titan
kind of,
worked meticulously.
I don't know, this boss fight. And then another one shows up telling you exactly what you just did.
Believing Sirenmon
Sirenmon died. Yes, we know that. We saw. You don't have to remind us. We just saved the forest. Kind of. Yeah, we know. We just did it. So I know I sound like I hate the game, but I'm telling you, I don't. I don't hate the game. I actually like the game. It's really fun. It's just that I'm looking at it from like a point of view where I'm trying to like enjoy the story, you know, the whole game experience. And at the same time, the game is it's just
Preparations complete.
I don't know how else to say it. It treats the player like they're an idiot. I'd like to get that. Although honestly, regular aura has just been working. One thing I do want to note though, I know I made it a point here, but I'll just bring it up again. You know it's the bad forest because everything is like dark and, well, it's got like a Dark Souls shade. I do like the latter is suspiciously vibrant than the rest of it. Again, I am very bad at manipulating this thing. I think this is my usual team. Do I go here? Look, it's bright. It's literally from like when it was sunny. You can actually see, man, I am bad at this. Everything is like gray and stuff except for the ladder. Look at the ladder. It's like disproportionately vibrant compared. Oh look, even you can see it over there. The swing points is what I was referring to this here. That's what I was referring to. I'm not sure if they goofed or they did it on purpose, but it just seems funny to me. It's like, you know, there was a breakable wall because it was a suspiciously different shade than the rest of the wall. And that's how you knew it was an interactable. The swinging vine, that's so funny. That's so funny. Oh my, okay. Moving on. It's honestly not that big a deal. It looks funny to me. So it's not so much a complaint. Most of my complaints about this game so far have really just been about the narrative. Check this. See, that's all it's really been about. It's really been more about the narrative. I haven't really needed gameplay wise, it's great. I'm enjoying this. This is probably like the best Digimon game to date. I know I probably beat that horse over the head a lot, but it's definitely better than the Cyber Sleuth games. Granted, I've only played Hacker's Memory, but I've seen the other one, and this is still better. Really for just one simple thing. We can actually interact with the digital world. And that's huge. That's huge for Digimon. That's what it's about. Because look, Digimon is an SNK, not like the modern interpretation of it. It's literally, like if you go look at Adventure, it was a bunch of kids who were teleported, not by a truck, who were teleported to this digital world and they have to save it. That's literally the basis of an SNK, is that you get teleported to a different world. A different, more amazing world. And there was a lot of other nuanced stuff there. But that's most of the series' identity, is interacting with the digital world. Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory didn't do that. If you actually looked at the game, you know, actually, maybe I can show. Wait. Give me a second. Yeah, do you hear me tapping away? Let me see if I could find like a picture of what I'm talking about. Let me see. Oh, this is great. Open this. Okay. So here, oh man. So here's what I'm talking about. So this is Hacker's Memory. This is technically a picture from my mod, but it doesn't modify the area. It's just the Digimon. That's not what we're looking at. We're looking at the floor. You see what I see? Yeah, I see a whole lot of nothing. That's the digital world in that game. That's what it looks like. That's what... Actually, this is what most of the game looks like. You spend a lot of the time in the game, which I think it's like a 30-hour game, maybe? I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but I feel that's a healthy amount. 30 hours looking at that. So, oh crap. So at least here, there's areas you get to look at, and they're very nice areas.
There!
Granted, I prefer the sunnier version of it, but they're still pretty good looking.
That one! Ready to launch!
Yeah, these side scroller sequences, I kind of wish they'd stop. Yeah, sure. Like once was cool, but this is gonna be a normal. I kind of don't want it.
Ready to
Get
launch!
ready! Atomic Blaster!
Let me see if I can find some more stuff. Ba-ba-da-ba, Oh yeah, fighting the boss. I think this is like the only boss lately that's given me actual trouble. It is Tyrant Kabuterimon. Yeah, I should switch to Buddy. And then when I get over to... But I still got through it, you know, it's just... If you know JRPGs, you know that, yes, killing them in like as few hits as possible is awesome. Very YouTube worthy. But you know, if you just want to play the game, like, you know, it's an actual game, you just adopt a strategy where it's like you just kind of like outlive everything.
I shouldn't have let my guard down.
These cutscenes and like interrupting boss fights, it's gotta stop.
There's no need to apologize.
It's just gonna be a thing throughout the whole game. I get that, but it doesn't make it any less annoying. And again, if normal viewers who have heard that the more you advertise or talk about something to me, that the less interested I am, this is kind of like that. You keep introducing the cutscenes that kind of break the flow of like me wanting to actually fight the boss, I become less interested in the boss fight. Maybe I was right. It took me a while too. This boss took like what, 30 minutes? My normal boss fight time is kind of like that. It's like 20 to 40 minutes. I don't think it matters how strong my Digimon are either. I think the bosses in this game are just bloated. I'll probably try lightning next.
I'm counting on you.
So, moving on to the next day, which was yesterday. I hate these two a lot. I know that's wrong to really feel so strongly about a video game character, but I mean, I hate these two. They're ruining the game so bad.
Dark and quiet, I would remember the past.
Like, I hate these two.
But now?
Crud.
Now?
The game keeps hinting to me too, is that like, oh, you have to watch Leomon because, you know,
Sorry.
he's basically dumber Dio. That's an issue.
Agumon.
And I'm like, want me to wag him?
Talked about constellations
now?
on the rooftop. People would look up at the night sky
And I know they're going to take all game to do it.
to make pictures and call them heroes.
There's a very Darth Vader thing happening here. Like, they're building up this whole thing.
Now,
I see it coming.
Leomon is interred in this land. Perhaps she's cleansing the ground.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not excited for it, simply just because I see it. Like, you know, surprise me, you know? Or go down the normal route, you know? Hey,
The fruit of Car-
something's happening in the Digi world. There's the big bad. Go kill it.
Maybe it'll appear when
Like what real heroes do. You just go kill things.
probably take some time, but I'll let you know as soon as I find some. I owe it to you for saving the forest.
This whole line with Grap Leomon was actually pretty okay. We got our anime tournament arc, so which I've tried to joke about. If you've watched animes before, you kind of know what I'm talking about. In most shonen-esque animes, Yu Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball whatever. There's like a point in like you're guaranteed at least two things. You're guaranteed a beach episode, you're guaranteed a training arc. That's just the natural way of how like those shows go, and just pick one. They're all like that. Let me see. So it just seems funny to me that they actually dropped a tournament arc right on us. It just seems funny. Most of the times in JRPGs, going into a tournament is like an optional thing. Maybe they'll have you go through it, but like once. They had us go through it 3 times, and by the time I ended this stream, there was actually another one I could do.
Now.
He gets the buff anyway. I think that's awesome. It's not a complaint. I find it funny. Yeah, I find it funny.
I'm counting on you.
It's just that I'm disappointed that I didn't get to learn the Kamehameha. I didn't get to deliver milk bottles. I didn't get my ass beat by a little old lady. Nothing. Yo, just like Grandpa Yugi didn't get stuck in the Shadow Realm because some rich jackass wanted to lure us out. Nah, nothing like that. These boss fights too were actually kind of silly as well. Like the first one by a little old lady. Like you see, like there's a platinum Sukemon, and the other guy is like a Chumon. I think that's what he's called. We're in the anime tournament arc. Oh,
Ready to launch.
I'm pretty sure these are not supposed to be high level Digimon. I could be wrong about that, and maybe that's like maybe they're ultimates, and I'm completely like mistaken. You know what? Actually, we could just look right here. Come on, I don't get to learn Kaioken. I don't get beat up by a little old lady. Come on. I'm pretty sure I scanned them. I try to every time. Let's see what his new transformation does. And yeah, this one. So like maybe not. For this, okay. I've got to fix his damage. Anyways, my point being, is that they have like these Digimon that are like completely bloated for absolutely no reason. I should be one-shotting like a lot of these.
Lunatic dance!
Again, to draw comparisons, it's like playing a Pokemon game and you have yourself like a Mewtwo, but then your opponent is like a very beefed up, say, I don't know, a Squirtle. It's kind of that equivalent. Like, you just played all game leveling up your guy, and then all of a sudden, yeah, like these two, all of a sudden you get like, where I had like a number of the OG, and now like form whooping your ass. Like, yeah, Squirrel, and he's kicking the shit out of Mewtwo.
Brick knockdown!
Those are rookie Digimon. They're not Ultimates or Megas, they're rookies. Meaning they're like level 2 or something. I have Ultimates. I'm working on my way to getting Megas. And I spend 10 minutes fighting these guys. This is my issue with this game. Well, I have a lot of issues with this game. I was actually kind of okay with the boss fight. This boss fight felt good. For like the longest time, and Kalismon is cool. He's not doing school. I was playing a bit, like, after stream, and now I am growing a Bearmon so I can get myself Kalismon. Because, look at him, he looks cool. He's got like a bandolier, he's got like this, Gundam High God cannon on his arm, huge claws, hell yeah. And he looks like one of the animal people from like Dragon Ball. This guy's cool. I'm gonna collect him. It's just so funny to me that earlier in the stream I was talking about Bearmon, its Digivolutions, and how you could have gotten Marsmon in Digimon World 3, and this game, they must know who's playing the game, because they just straight up be like, okay, so here's Marsmon. He's going Super Saiyan. He had his Dragon Ball Z moment.
I'm sorry for being such a failure of a little bro.
And he becomes Marsmon.
I'm sorry, big bro.
I thought that was it's cool, but I also found it humorous in that they're disconnected with their fan base, because I'm not sure if they did it on purpose or it was incidental.
Come at me. My fists.
But it just seemed like a funny coincidence to me. Like that's where they went. Let me see. Yeah, this part of the game here, this scares me. Here. We're filling out these petals, and I realized that, like, a little after this, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I assume 8 in the middle. So there's 8 more of these to go. This is gonna be a long playthrough. A very long playthrough.
When all the apostles have gathered and this clock is fully lit, the sacred current's power will be freed.
Which is fine, because, like, if we're going to go and continue in this monotonous sort of cycle that we're in right now, I think I'll be okay with it. It beats what the early game was like. As long as, like, our two partners eventually go away or just eventually just stop talking, then I think it'll be fine. She's evil as hell, by the way. Anyway. unconsciously making them like episodes to like a show. So I guess I'll just leave this here. No, I do this now. I'm trying to learn from past mistakes. So anyways, so that's the weekly roundup. I guess some background stuff that I can share is really not much. I've been fooling around with like a lot of settings I have on my PC. Trying to get better at being trying to deliver good experiences while not melting. Because look, it's hot, man. And I know it kind of goes without saying, because I know there's like a majority of us are like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. But I just gotta say, like, it's hot. Sometimes I have like the fan on, it's like pointing at me, and it's not enough. So, I really advise everyone listening to just try and stay cool. We'll make it through this. We made it through the last, what, 1,000? We'll make it through this one. So, I guess that just about wraps up today. That was quick. That was very quick. I kind of wish I took some more time to find more of how to just talk about like the subjects I brought up. But I think everybody, but just, you get the gist of it. So, yeah, I guess I'll just give my send off and we will meet again on Monday. So, here it goes. Hey, I'm Red, the Gray Fox. I stream here on YouTube, Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the content I'm putting out. It allows me to get seen by the algorithm gods. Feel free to comment and put in your own opinion or continue the discussions discussed today. I'm always open for that. Or, any advice for the channel or something like that. I'm still growing. So hopefully, well, I get some incentive on that. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. Everyone that came by, stuck around, and participated in the stream. Everybody that came by, stuck around, and lurked. I appreciate you too. Everybody that came by, stuck their head in, dipped their toes in the water, decided it was too hot and left. Thank you too. Of course, I know I've already said it, but I'm going to say it again. Feel free to look into the description. You click the link and it will bring you into bookstoread.com, where it will show you a number of different links and retailers that are selling the ebook of my own book, The Eye of Destiny. I guarantee you'll like it. And if you don't, you go ahead and tell me. If you do or don't, tell me. Go ahead. I'm a tough fox. So, Saturday and Sunday, I take my days off, but I will try to put out some form of short material out, because I haven't really done it in a while, really because the games I've been playing lately don't really have a lot of short content potential. At least not far as I see, but I'm going to try. Of course, as it still stands, as soon as I finish Digimon Storytime Stranger, I'm going to go on a hiatus. I don't know for how long, minimum 2 weeks, but it could be longer than that. And that's it. That's the stream for today. So, I hope you all have a good night, or a good morning, and a happy 4th of July, wherever you are.